Well, welcome everyone. I'll go ahead and get started. It's 10 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and go through our presentation today. My name is Mike Tabor, and we're going to be going over the database manager and the search and update price function. And we'll go over how to set it up, how to use it, and how to automate it. Again, every Wednesday now at 10 o'clock Mountain Time, we're having our Keystroke Live. And today is the search and update price function. We'll go through looking at inventory records and how to use this. And I'll go ahead and set on mute everyone at this time. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and use the chat function down at the bottom. At the end of the presentation, I'll open up for questions and see if anyone has any direct questions or any kind of explaining I can help to understand this better. We're going to be going over the search and update price function for inventory. It's a big, powerful feature that allows you to use price tables to change your different pricing in Keystroke. It's more flexible than the search and replace function, as you can update multiple different types of items, all based on one table. And it can also be automated. We're going to be using the udprice.exe program at the end of this presentation to show you how you can update your prices on a regular or scheduled basis through a batch file. I'll go ahead and jump into Keystroke here, and we'll get started. What I'll first do is show you where the function is in Database Manager. And we're going to go into Database Manager, and this really is only set up for inventory. That's the only place we can change our pricing. And I'll just pick any item off the list here. We'll kind of focus in on some of these hardware items that I have here. This is stock number 41. What we're going to be doing here is using under the Find menu, we're going to be using the Search and Update Price function. I'll go ahead and click here and show you some settings, and then we'll go set up a price table and watch it work. This is the setting I wanted to show you. This allows you to use the search and update price formula to update different price levels on the list. We have everything from base price to our level 1 through 3 pricing, and we also can change our costs if we wanted to do that, but not many people do it in that order. The price table is where we're going to go set up in Configuration Manager. And you notice there's a price date. So some people can change their inventory records based on a certain price table that may come into effect. Let's say you're having a Christmas sale and you want to adjust your pricing based on a certain time that the sale is going to be in effect. So you can actually go through and update some certain prices, let's say sale prices, if you wanted to based on a certain date. Well, let me jump back into Configuration Manager because we're going to need the price table. Yes, I can actually do it kind of on the fly here, but I'd like to go to Configuration Manager and spend a little bit of time and show you how it's really set up in the background there. So what I'm going to first do is go to Configuration Manager from the exit menu. Then under Tables, we have Price. And under Price again, we have Tables, and this is where we're going to start. This is a setting right here that's already been set up with our default tutor data. I'm going to show you the price adjustments, but I'm going to set up something slightly different here. But let's look at this one called Price Adjustments. This is kind of set up in a fashion to say, I'm going to go through my inventory and update certain types of inventory items based on their price codes. Here's an example of a formula that's already been set up in our sample data. And it talks about hardware items. If I use this table, this is going to go through and update hardware items and make it 100% markup from the last cost. I'm going to show you a little trick in here. If I hit the F9 key in the markdown field, I'm going to hit it once. It changes it to markup. If I hit it once again, it changes it to a profit margin. And F9 brings me back to our markdown. So a negative 100% markdown is a 100% markup from cost. So in effect, this price formula will actually take any hardware items, and you'll see the price code on certain items I'll select, and it's going to mark up the base price, or whatever price I choose with the update price function. It's going to go through and mark it up 100% from the last cost. I'm going to hit escape here to show you another setup here. This one right here is for software items. Again, if I hit F9 in here, you'll see it say it's a 75% markup from the last cost, or somewhere around a 42%, 43% profit margin. And here's one here for gift items, and this is actually doing like a 55% markup. So I'm going to start off a little different here. I'm going to go ahead and hit insert to add a different price table. And I'm going to actually, let's go back to Database Manager, and let's first use this process to see how it works. I'm going to use some kind of crazy numbers here on this price adjustments. I want to show that the hardware items can be changed, and I'm going to hit F9 to help me out here. I'm going to change it to a 60% profit margin for hardware items. So keep that in mind, that any item that has HW in it is going to be updated to 60% from the last cost. It's actually a 6% profit margin. I'll save that. I'm going to go back to Database Manager and show you how this works. First of all, I have to enter the inventory database. It doesn't matter which item you pick. I'm going to show you again, stock number 41 will kind of focus in on some of these hardware items. Down here is the price code. This is what we're actually going to be focusing in on. That the price code of HW is going to be the items that are going to change, and we're going to notice that the base price, if I'm going to make this change happen to the base price, the base price is going to change, and it's going to be 60% of the last cost of $6.99. So I'll go ahead and use the find option, search and update price. And here's a search screen. I can choose to use the search screen for just hardware items, but I had a price table that would have done hardware, software, or gift items, and it would have skipped every other item on the list. But in this example, I'd like to just do a search criteria and put HW in here for hardware items. That's all I'm going to search for. I'm going to hit F10. And now here's our options. I'm going to go ahead and update the base price based on that price table that we just looked at, and just using today's date. So we're not really using the functionality of the date like I explained. When I hit OK, it gives me a warning. Make sure you have a backup. I do have a backup of my inventory because this could actually go through and wipe out some pricing, and you don't really have a way to recover from it. I'll say OK. And if I answer yes to confirm change to each record, you'll see when I hit the Y for yes or hit enter here, down in the lower left, you're going to see change this item's base price from $14.99 to $18. And so it's showing me the $6.99 price, and if I do a 60% profit margin, it's going to go up to $18. You're going to actually see something I didn't show you, but it's a price rounding feature. I'm going to answer yes to this. And now I found another hardware item. Here's the second hardware item. Its price is going to change from $608 to $761. And notice how these are even dollar amounts. I'm going to say yes to this. At this time, I'm just going to stop and hit escape and cancel the search. And it looked at 3 items and only 2 were updated. So now I'm going to page back to those 2. So here's one right here that changed the profit margin, and it went up to $18. You might ask, well, why is that doing that? You know, it should have been exactly 60%. Well, let me bounce back into Configuration Manager and show you a feature that really comes in handy when you're updating prices. Keeping in mind that if you know you're going to be updating prices, you probably also know you're going to be changing price tags. And so you might want to use some of the features in our price tables. Let's go ahead and look at the hardware one. Besides just this profit margin of 60% that I chose, I have this price pattern down below here. I can choose to say I want to make all my prices end at a certain amount. Maybe I like the .99 pricing or .95 pricing. And here's the price round up from, so I can say, well, if something's over 45 cents, round it up to .99. If not, go down to 45. So I'm going to save this and do this one more time. And let's go rerun the same search and update price. Sorry, I got to be in the inventory first. We go down to search and update price. Again, I'm going to search for just hardware items in this case. And I'm going to use the same settings as before to update the price. I'm going to say OK, the base price. I am going to confirm the change to each record. And here it shows me something slightly different. This is going to change it from $18 down to $17.99 because I used a different price pattern. I'll answer yes. And this one here is going to change it also down by a penny. I'm going to answer yes to that. So as you can see, I can use the price tables and the search and update price to do more than just make this a 60% profit margin. I can use the price rounding feature because price tables can be used in various ways and there's a lot of flexibility to them. This is one example of the price. But let me do something slightly different. I'm going to go back to Configuration Manager. And I'm going to this time set up a brand new price table. Let's just call this let's see. I'm going to try web, for instance. And this is going to be to update the web price of an item. And here I'm going to kind of pull up the same thing. I just hit the insert key, by the way, to bring up a new price formula. Insert again. I'm going to find the hardware items. And this one might be a, I'm going to call it 75% profit margin on hardware. And I go down to the markdown price. I can use the F9 key to toggle through the different options and put in 75%. I want to mark it up from the, notice here you can change it from different prices. I'm going to use the last cost again. And I'm not going to use any price pattern down here at the bottom. You're going to see it's going to be some exact numbers. So when I'm done with this profit margin of 75% should be on the inventory record. So I have a new update the web price. And in this first example, I'd like to just show you how I can update a different field besides the base price. I'm in the inventory database again, back in Database Manager. I'll do find, search, and replace. This time I won't use any search criteria because my actual price table for web is only going to look for hardware items only. So I'm just going to hit F10 here. Oops, I'm sorry, I think I selected the wrong thing. Search and update price. Nothing on this screen. I hit F10 and now I get my choice here. Maybe this time I want to update the list price. But I'm going to use a different table, the web price. I'm going to say OK here. And this time I'm going to answer yes again just to see it work. So this found the first hardware item again. Sorry if that's in the way. This found a hardware item. It's saying to change the price of the list price from $14.99 up to $27.96. I'm going to say yes a couple times and cancel and go back and show you how this result was. This time I went through everything and only I accepted 2 of them. It actually didn't skip the first 40-second records. And so now I go back to stock number 41 and you can see that my list price has now been set for the 75% profit margin. I'm using some big numbers here so we can see some big changes. Keep in mind, if you do smaller profit margins with small dollar amounts, things are always within a few pennies of each other, but this is just a good way to show a good example. So that's kind of the power of the search and update price, but I'd like to show you the ability to automate this. Let's go ahead and minimize Keystroke here, and I'm going to change screens. Okay, this is at a command prompt here. We have a program called UD Price for update price. It's an exe. I'm going to start by using the /? key to show you the help information. I might have to change this so you can see it. There we go. This is the document here. Sorry, I hope you're seeing this document. This shows you what the startup switches are and how we can use it. It kind of talks about startup switches of price table equals, update equals. We can use a date filter, or we can use a more complex filter saying, hey, just look for inventory items that have the web item updated, for instance, and just only change them. But I'm going to run through the entire thing and update the web price. The no pause just says, make sure you have a backup. And there's some examples down here. One of them is kind of down here that I'm going to probably use about updating the web price. This one right here, but I'm going to be using the tutor data. So let me close this. Go back to my DOS prompt here. So we're going to try this out. We're going to go ahead and use the I'm seeing a note from Gordon about my camera's taking up the entire screen. I don't know if I can fix that or not, or if there's a way to change that. Any help would be appreciated. Hopefully everyone else can't just see my smiling face, but can see the whole Keystroke DOS prompt. Let me just chime in here and ask a question to the group. Can others see the DOS prompt in some of the screens in Keystroke here?
No, Mike, I can't see.
No. Nobody can see anything but me?
Correct.
Well,
just you.
Okay, I'm closing my webcam. Now what can you see? You see a DOS prompt now? Anybody?
No, we still see you.
Your smiling face.
I just see you, and then I see the go to meeting screen.
I'm sorry about that. Let me see what we can do here.
No, nothing.
How about now? You should see
Now we just got
Keystroke.
the Keystroke Live.
Okay, how about now? What do you see?
I can see.
You should be
Still
seeing
seeing
Keystroke
Keystroke Live.
No.
Gosh, I'm sorry. We talk all this time and nobody can see me. All right, right now we
There
see
you
the
go.
search and update price screen.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I will backtrack just a little and race through this again, and I apologize for that. This is in the database manager, the inventory. We're going to go through the search and update price based on price tables. And I'll go ahead and jump back into Keystroke, and I'll leave the mics on for a little bit just to get a little feedback. Okay, at this time you see the Keystroke screen.
Yes.
All right, I think we're back on track. I apologize for that. Wasted a few minutes of our time here. Let me go ahead and continue on. What we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and we're in a database record. We're going to go up to the record menu, the find menu, and do search and update price. This is a search screen. I'm just going to hit F10 past it. And now I'm going to say I want to update the list price I'm going to base it on a price table I just made a second ago. I'm going to hit F3 to show it to you. And I'm going to change it around a little bit just for the fun of it. I am going to make it a 40% profit margin. And if you notice I hit the F9 key, you'll see the different markdown and markups. So we're going to go ahead and use a 40% profit margin from the last cost. I'm just going to say OK to this, and it's going to ask me to confirm the price for each record. I'm going to say yes. And you'll see at the bottom it's asking me, would I like to change the list price from $27.96 to $11.65? So there's the list price. I'm going to answer Y for yes right here. It moves on to the next hardware item. I'm searching for hardware items. Wants it to change it from this big number, 1217. I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Then I'll hit escape here, cancel my search, and I'll just show you what we did here. This is stock number 41. We changed the list price to be 40% profit margin. So let me kind of reiterate. You can use the search and update price function in the program by using the search and update price. You can do, if I hit F10 on the search screen, I can update any of these prices here. This one right here I believe needs to be labeled web, and I'm going to see if that needs to be fixed. But I can update the base price, I can update level 1 and so forth based on the price table. And what I was moving towards is that I can use different price tables for different things. Here's an example in our sample data that hardware items would have 100% markup. I'll hit F3 to show it to you. Oh, I changed this while we were talking. This was 100% markup. And this is a 75% markup. Notice I'll hit the F9 key and it changes its option to markup. F9 again to profit margin and markdown. This one uses a price pattern down below. That's going to change everything above 0.00 to 25 cents. Anything down to like 99 cents is going to go downward. And this will go through and update the base price based on this price table. I was heading towards using this as an automated process. A lot of times people will be purchasing material throughout the week and the month and the year, and they do want to update their prices, and especially they may want to automate it to allow their website to be updated with current pricing and so forth. So you could actually go through the process of using this program called UD Price. Hopefully this doesn't break it again, but I will show you this document here. This is the help document on UD Price, and it talks about how to use different price tables, and we set one up for web. Which price field you want to update, levels 1, 2, 3, web, average cost, last cost. If you want to use some kind of filter to say, okay, I only want to search for items with the web item filter turned on, and then the no pause. I'll go ahead and close this. Back to our DOS prompt. So now let's try this as a command line. And the idea here is you could have a batch file to go in and update multiple price levels. You can update the base, the list, the web price, and the sale price, all with different, one batch file with different use of the UD price command. So in this command line example, I'm going to just use the tutor data. I'm going to say the price table equals web, and I'm going to say update equals W. That's for, it's going to update the web item price. And I'm not going to use the no pause switch at this time. Then we can see some of the prompts. I'll hit enter here. First one is warning is that you should have a backup. There's no undo of this process. So I'll say yes. That kind of tells me I'm going to update my tutor inventory file. I'm going to update the web price with the price table called web. Update the web price. And with the date. And if I answer yes, it's going to fly through it. And it found all 5 hardware records, and it updated it to my web pricing. And I think my web pricing I had set to change the list price. But I'm going to actually go in and change it one more time. Let's do this once more. change my price table. And this is a great example of using our sample data kind of really to play around with the power of this.
Mike, we're not seeing the DOS prompt at all.
You should be seeing Keystroke now. Do you see Keystroke now? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm back in Keystroke. Sometimes this flashes and tells me I need to change screens, and thank you for telling me that. Now we should be in Keystroke. And I chose to update whatever price to a profit margin of, let's see what I just chose, 40%. Great. So hopefully you can see I'm in Keystroke. And here's an example that both the list price is set at 40% and the web price has now been updated. The reason why I want to bring to the fact that you can use udprice.exe is a lot of people are wanting to integrate with web designers and so forth, and they want to send updated inventory records to the web. So they may use something like KS Export to export their inventory, but they may want to use udprice.exe to update their different web item prices, then use KS Export to export the data out, and then they can send it up to their website to update their pricing on the web. Some people will use this in a print button. They will actually set up a print button in Purchase Manager, and in Purchase Manager they can go ahead and save a purchase invoice and immediately have it go update not just the base price, which Purchase Manager can do, but it can update other prices, list price, web price, on sale price, and so forth. So let me jump back to our kind of our PowerPoint shell here. The search and update price, again, is more powerful than the search and replace function because you can actually update multiple different items with different price levels. So you can use the price table approach. And again, we talked about the udprice.exe. And I'd like to take some questions right now because I'm just making sure that I didn't cut you off at the beginning there. Kind of went through a lot of information at the beginning. So I'm open for questions at this time for the search and update price, and I can go right back into Keystroke and show you some different examples if you have some questions. Any questions? All right, well, sorry about the mishap on the screens there. I'll see what happened. Maybe we'll do a little test run next time, see if our webcam is taking up the whole screen like you mentioned. And if you have any specific questions, feel free to give us a call here at the office, and we can go through any specifics. The biggest power of this is that you can actually update multiple different types of items with different pricing, all from one shot, all from one command line or one shot in Keystroke, and not have to do multiple search and replaces department by department and so forth. So I'll leave it at that if there are no other questions.
Just a comment. It was only when you went to the DOS prompt that we lost you. It never showed up. Your presentation was running fine until you tried to go out and demonstrate the UD price.
Oh, good. Well, then maybe some of the recording. We do put these recordings on our YouTube page for Keystroke Live, and so hopefully the whole beginning wasn't too bad. Well, I appreciate your patience, and call me if you have any questions. There's a lot more power behind the scenes, and this is all part of Keystroke POS. You don't get this with the Express POS, okay? Thank you. Have a good day.